Okay, ladies and gentle dudes, my hair's all curly because I went in the jacuzzi and didn't dry my hair. Just let it dry on its own. Okay, I haven't done my readings in a long time. I'm in my new car. For you people on Facebook, if you saw pictures, I got a 2021. It had 22,000 miles, so it's not new, but I got it from a Honda dealership. It's a Honda. It's an Insight. It's the touring model, which is the top model, so it has a better stereo than my other car that I killed. Today I'm going to do a different type of reading. I'm going to do a reading from Living Buddhism, which is the Buddhist organization Soka Gakkai that I've been a member of all my life. And they just published in this issue, The Son of Jiyu over the New Land. Jiyu means freedom. And Bodhisattva of the Earth in Japanese is Jiyu no Bosatsu, which means Bodhisattva of Freedom. It has something to do with the Buddha of absolute freedom, and I forget. And I talked about that on some videos I made before, so you got to go to my YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Tim Janakos, which is TIMJANAKOS, which is my stage name. My legal name is unknown. I won't tell you because I'd have to kill you. Alright, so this is Daisaku Ikeda, the third president of the Soka Gakkai. He wrote this back when I was a lot younger. I was a district leader at the time when he came to LA. And he had a meeting with only district leaders. And I had been a group leader for longer than I was a district leader. Then I became a district leader like a few months before he came to LA. And then I became a chapter leader a few months after that. So I was only a district leader for a very short time. But during that short time, I got invited to a special meeting with him. I got invited to a couple other meetings. What did we call ourselves? The different groups he named. I think we had a 10-year reunion back in the day. I think 20-year reunion recently. Anyway, he wrote this in 1993 when he came here shortly after the Rodney King riots in LA. He decided to come to LA, encourage people. And he wrote this incredible poem. I started writing poems at that time too, because I got inspired by this poem so much. And Daisaku Ikeda has written some really long poems like this before, like To My Young American Friends, which is an incredible poem. I like the original version. I think I did a reading of that on one of my YouTube channels, or on my YouTube channel. So go look that one. I think I did read it. To My Young American Friends, the first 70s version I liked a lot better than the new translation. So hopefully this is the original translation that I remember reading in the 90s over and over. And I read the book talking about it by Fred Zeitzut, the general director of the Los Angeles, or of all of the United States, Soka Gakkai. Okay. I was at this meeting when this was first read. I think this was the district meeting that it was read at. To my treasured friends of Los Angeles, the city of my dreams, the son of Jiyu over the new land, the son of freedom. Okay. A brilliant burning sun rises above the newborn land, aiming toward a new century, rising the curtain on a new stage of humanity's history, shedding its light equally on all things. It seeks the sky's distant midpoint. In the land, wrapped in the limitless light of the morning sun, my splendid American friends make their appearance, bearing the world's hopes. With power and vigor, they commence their progress anew. They commence their progress anew. I'm going to read that one again. With power and vigor, they commence their progress anew. To my beloved and treasured friends, I say, quote, long live America renewed. Long live the SGI-USA reborn, end quote. So we call it our rebirth, our Independence Day was in 1990 because we got excommunicated. All the 20 million Soka Gakkai members got excommunicated from the Nikken sect, which is actually Nichiren Shoshu, but Nikken's dead now, so anyway. This enchanting city, Los Angeles, land of freedom and pioneering spirit. From jagged mountain ranges to the Pacific Ocean, variegated nature changes ceaselessly. Rich agricultural lands, nurtured by the sun's dazzling rays. I got a lot of fucking glare from this light. And the groundbreaking effort of those who came before. Downtown, clusters of buildings soar skyward. To think that this vast metropolis could grow from a single aqueduct stretched across the barren desert from beyond the distant mountains. So he's talking about the history of Los Angeles. They just had an aqueduct that came in, and that's what made the whole city grow, bringing water to a otherwise desert. We look at it now, there's lots of trees everywhere in California, but it was mostly just desert. It was like going out to the desert. It was all California. But we took all the Colorado River and we piped it in, and we canaled it into all of the beach areas and made them all palm trees growing and beautiful landscapes and gardens and stuff. So a lot of those trees weren't here back when it was a desert. It reminds me of the song by, what's their name? The Indigo Girls, talking about the Mississippi River. The Mississippi's mighty. It starts in Minnesota at a point that you can walk across with 5 steps down. I guess that's how you started, like a pinprick to my heart. Anyway, that's a sad song. But this is talking about the positivity of just barren desert was totally transformed. It is said that in America, new winds blow from the west, and indeed the fresh breezes of new ways of thinking, new styles of living, have arisen in California and spread to the entire United States. So many stories of the silver screen, created here in Hollywood, have delivered bountiful gifts of romance and dreams to the world's people. This rich spiritual soil, the great earth alive with the diversity of people and traditions, giving rise to new culture, a new humanity. Los Angeles is a city pregnant with future. This was back in the 90s. After the pandemic, it's been a freaking wasteland of homelessness. But hopefully we can transform all that. That's why he's sending this. That's why they're republishing this, to reinvigorate the Bodhisattvas of the earth, the Bodhisattvas of Freedom, the Jiyu no Bosatsu. Okay, Los Angeles is a city pregnant with future. A city where, in the words of one writer, you can set new precedents with your own energy and creativity. And more, Los Angeles is a bridge linking east to west, a land of merging and fusion, where cultures of the Pacific encounter traditions of the West. So Los Angeles used to be the reason it's still the cheapest from LAX, from Tokyo International Airport, otherwise known as Narita, which isn't even in Tokyo. It's way above Tokyo. It's in a different prefecture even. In the 90s, when this was written, before the bubble broke in Japan, there was so many thousands of Japanese coming all the time. Airline flights were just packed with Japanese people. They'd stop up in Honolulu. Some would stay in Honolulu, but a lot would come to Los Angeles. So Honolulu was the biggest Japanese community, and Los Angeles is the second. So you always can get the cheapest flights still. From all the times I've ever gone, from LAX to Narita, and from Narita to LAX was always the cheapest I can find. I wish I can go into San Diego at the same price. I've never flown into San Diego. I actually did one time. No, I flew into John Wayne Airport, but I had to stop off in Seattle, or I had to stop off in San Francisco. I can't remember which airport. I think I've stopped off at Seattle once and I went to San Diego. But it's not even worth it. It's not a direct flight. If you get a direct flight, you could get from Niigata, where I lived in Japan, directly sometimes to San Diego, but they're like $1,500 back when it was like $500 round trip. Back when I used to come back and forth like 6 times a year. Well, actually I did 6 times in my senior year, and when I didn't have a job, I was living off scholarships. Okay, and selling all my shit to move to Japan. Okay, so anyway, it was a big Japanese community, and when they had a huge, hey Gordon, good to see you. Okay, I'm reading The Son of Jiyu over the New Land, so I'm just in still the first page. The rich spiritual soil, this great earth alive with diversity of peoples and traditions, giving rise to new culture, a new humanity. Los Angeles is a city pregnant with future, a city where, in the words of one writer, I'm reading again where I already read, you can set new precedents with your own energy and creativity. And more, Los Angeles is a bridge linking east to west. That's where I left off last. A land of merging and fusion where cultures of the Pacific encounter traditions of the West. The Pacific that opens before our eyes, the boundless, free and untamed sea, for which the great Melville voiced his respect and praise. Quote, it rolls the midmost waters of the world, the tide-beating heart of earth, end quote. That's from Melville. Maybe that's from Moby Dick or something, I don't know. Moby Dick, I think it was in the Atlantic. Once the Mediterranean was inland sea and mother to the civilizations of the surrounding regions, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. In like manner, the Pacific depths must not divide, but be a cradle of a new civilization, an enormous inland sea connecting the Americas north and south, the continents of Asia and Australia, and New Zealand. Okay. This is my firm conviction. California will be the energy source for the Pacific region in the 21st century, and Los Angeles its eastern capital. In October 1960, I took my first step on the American continent in California, the Golden State. The honor and glory of becoming the first chapter established in North America belong to the Los Angeles chapter. I was part of the Los Angeles chapter back when my parents started practicing in 71 in Orange County. When I was growing up, we were Los Angeles #1 territory in the Los Angeles Joint Territory. But back when it was just a chapter, they were little districts, and Orange County District was one of the groups. We met in what was it? Laguna Beach, which is just over the hill from Soka University now. Okay. Since then, the city has been the core and center of Kozurufu in the United States, the starting point for worldwide Kozurufu. My dear friends, never forget this mission which you so decidedly possess. In the 33 years since that time, I have visited Los Angeles 17 times. I saw when he came in 73 or 4, I have a picture with my older brother. He was in the Junior Pioneers and he was performing in our little red suit with the red hat, little dazzling things hanging off, and I was wearing some yellow frickin' pants. I still have that picture somewhere. My mom does, or my grandma does. And then I saw President Ikeda again in the San Diego convention of 1980 something, and then again in Hawaii convention, and then Los Angeles, saw him in the 90s, and then I saw him at a couple meetings in Tokyo when I first moved to Japan before I was there 13 years. The first couple years I got invited to meetings because I was a newly graduate of Soka University, but then I had to let all the newer graduates go to those kind of meetings because I was already in men's division. Okay. In the 33 years since that time, I have visited Los Angeles 17 times. Kansai is the heart whose beating drives the movement for Kozurufu in Japan. Los Angeles plays the self-same role for the entire world. For this reason, on each visit, staking all, I drove in deep and deeper the pilings of construction. The first SGI general meeting was held, and in 1987, Soka University of America opened its doors. That was called Soka University of Los Angeles, SGI-USA. I went for 3 days with the brass band. I think at that time I was in the advanced brass band or the I was in San Diego, Light Cavalry Overture. Yes, we did that one. Oh, God, I still remember. I was playing saxophone on that song, Light Cavalry Overture. Dun, 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 dun. How does that song go? Fuck, I forget. I'll think of it in a moment. But I was in the same parade with you for Light Cavalry Overture. Oh, and then we did like this Royal... Yeah, I was in the Royal Prince. I was in the French horn section. We called it the French Horns, and this was our little... Woo! We had a little salute, and we'd go... We called ourselves the French Whores, and we called the Royal Prince the Royal Pimps. I played the French horn. Those are the worst French horns in the world. The trumpets weren't so bad, and the other instruments weren't so bad. For some reason, the marching French horns were so out of tune, and it was impossible to get them in tune. That was the hardest thing I ever did, because I was good at trumpet playing in tune, and I was good at playing the marching flugelhorn, marching mellophone in my school band, because it was a really nice one. I think it was a Con. But the Royal Prince, freaking 6/8 time, yes. That's what it was. 1 2 3 2 2 3 1 2 3 2 2 dun 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 dun. Remember when Andy Fehrenbach wrote there was a French horn solo. No, it was a mellophone solo, and he had 2 trumpets and a baritone playing "To Dream." Or no, they were playing dun 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 dun, and then there was a flugelhorn solo. To dream the impossible. It was Beethoven's Ninth Symphony along with To Dream the Impossible Dream over. That was the best fucking butt chin guy. I remember him. Andy Fehrenbach. I loved Andy Fehrenbach. I still was friends with him on Facebook before I got kicked off. I gotta find him again. Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna look him up on Facebook and get him back on my friends, because all the people I used to have as friends, I don't have as friends anymore. Okay, where the frick was I? I lost my place there. Okay, in SULA, I cleaned up the frickin', with the brass band, I cleaned up the whole fucking campus before that big meeting with President Ikeda, and I had a meeting with him there. I'm one that opened the frickin' canvas. I was in junior high school in San Diego at the time. No, I was in high school. No, I was in junior high school in SULA. No, the San Diego campus. When the San Diego campus was supposed to be opened, I went to the groundbreaking ceremony there. I was in junior high school. I came from Orange County. And then I moved to San Diego when SULA opened. So I chanted to be a student at both of those. But they fell through because it never became a 4-year university in SULA. Until they opened in my hometown, and I was already 30 years old. I was like, should I still try to go? And I still tried to go. And I did go, and I graduated with honors. But anyway. Okay. February 1990, I postponed my visit to South America, and for 17 days, yes, I was there for those 17 days. He did a bunch of meetings. Gave myself heart and soul to the work of encouraging my beloved fellow members here in Los Angeles. Those impassioned, consuming days of unceasing toil and action are the collaborative golden poems of shared struggle. Nor can I ever forget the spring of 1992. Even now, my heart is rent with pain when I recall how the tragic news of the civil unrest in Los Angeles raced across the world. I hope my sound's on. Hold on. Let me check my sound. Sound is on. Bluetooth. I don't need Bluetooth right now. Let's check if my sound's up. Just in case I get a call. I had a slow day today because I went and did my laundry. And I got my insurance all set up because I found out my previous insurance, they don't want to do personal cars anymore. So I had to get new insurance, but I ended up saving money. So I got to get money back from my other insurance that got canceled because I paid for a year already. What the hell? I got to push a button to get the light to go on. There we go. Okay, where was I? Heart-rending images of the evening sky shrouded in black smoke, of buildings collapsing in flames, once peaceful streets shattered by riots. I have a book, it's a novel written by a police officer who went through the LA riots, and I was starting to read a little bit of it, and it was all about a detective story about someone getting killed, a reporter from another country. It was based on a true story, but they novelized it. The city gripped by the battlefield tension, people standing lost in confusion, a woman holding an infant cried out, "What has become of the ideals of this country? What are we supposed to teach our children?" Her woe-filled words tore like talons at my heart. So during the Rodney King riots, I was living in San Diego. I just moved to San Diego, and I remember the students at San Diego University of San Diego. What is it called? They blocked down the freeway. They just had to sit in all the way across the freeway, shut down the 5 freeway in protest of the Rodney King verdicts. Instead of having riots, they just did shutdowns of things like that. That was amazing. And I was thinking, because I wanted to be a singer-songwriter since I was 15, and at that point I was 18 or 19. No, since I was 10 years old, I decided I was going to be. So for 10 or more years, I had tried to write a song. I kept writing parts of songs. I never finished a song. But I was like, I'm going to write a song about the riots because it affected me so much. And President Ikeda's words affected me so much about it. And I was trying to write a song, and then I heard, "Across the lines, who would dare to go over the bridge, under the tracks, separates whites from blacks. Choose sides, run for your life. Tonight the riots begin." And I don't know what she wrote that song about, but it was about, when I first heard that song, it was about the time of the riots. And I was like, fuck, that's a song I wish I wrote. So I was waiting for the muse to, but I didn't really capture the muse until I was 25, and I was going to kill myself. And now I've written over 100 songs, and now I just got to get my music to spread to all corners of the world, like I promised Daisaku Ikeda back when I said I was going to be a singer-songwriter for his mission, for the mission that he created in the Precepts for Brass Band. Okay, I received continuous reports, extended prompt relief, and putting everything aside, I sat before the Gohonzon and single-mindedly prayed for the safety of my treasured friends, for the immediate restoration of order, for the world without violence and discrimination. So he said he got in front of his Gohonzon. Gohonzon is a scroll we chant to. It has down the center Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and then it has down each side Bodhisattva. I remember Buddha, Tahoe Buddha and Shakyamuni Buddha on one side or the other. It's the opposite side in the Lotus Sutra, because it's an image as if you're in the treasure tower looking out at the treasure tower, and the view from the Lotus Sutra is looking into the treasure tower. So they made the Gohonzon as if you're in the tower. So we call it entering the ceremony in the air when we chant to the treasure tower. And it has all the different characters that were in the treasure tower, which represent the 10 worlds all the way down each side. And then it has even the 4 protective deities of Japan at the time. And it has some Sanskrit characters on both sides that represent protection. And then it says on one side that if you praise this cluster of jewels, you receive the benefit from Buddhas from all 10 directions or something like that. And on the other side it says, if you slander this law, your head will be split into 7 pieces. Which is kind of what happened to my dad. He ripped up our first Gohonzon. Unfortunately, it was metaphorical, but for him it was actual. Okay, he died during the pandemic. Not of the pandemic. I think his immune system was too strong, but he just took too much amphetamines or whatever they call those fucking things that everyone's taking now that I never would touch. Okay. Oh, America, land bringing together so many different peoples. A republic. Oh, I gotta push the button. Where was I? A republic of ideals, born beneath the lofty banner, the uniting principles of freedom and equality. As this century draws to its close, the soul of your idealism grieves at the stark realities of racial strife. What is to become of the spirit of your nation, fostered by so many people of wisdom and philosophy? My treasured friends, there is no question that your multicultural nation, America, represents humanity's future. Your land holds secret stores of unbounded possibility, transforming the energy of different cultures into the unity of construction, the flames of conflict into the light of solidarity, the eroding rivulets of mistrust into the great broad flow of confidence. I can't read because of the glare. On what can we ground our effort to open the horizons of such a renaissance? It is for just this reason, my precious, treasured friends, that you must develop within yourself the life condition of Jiyu, Bodhisattva of the earth. So Jiyu means freedom, and in Japan, the Bodhisattvas of the earth is Jiyu no Bosatsu, which is Bodhisattvas of Freedom. It's kind of weird that the English translation is Bodhisattva of the earth, because I would prefer Bodhisattvas of Freedom. Not that we had any freedom in the last couple of years in any place on the world. We just had a tyrannical governments no matter where you went, enforcing tyrannical bullshit, lies, scientific jargonism that has nothing to do with scientific discovery. That has lain dormant in our hearts. Okay, I gotta read that part again. But the Buddhism of true cause, expounded by the Daishonin, whose teaching we... I think I jumped somewhere. Oh yeah, Life of Jiyu. Okay, we were right here. I'm just going to read that part. Then you will without fail discover the stately expanse of Jiyu unfolding in the depths of your life. Okay. Fuck, I'm skipping all over because my eyes are bad. Okay, I'm going to go back to where I was reading before. It is for just this reason, my precious, treasured friends, that you must develop within yourself the life condition of Jiyu, Bodhisattva of the earth, or freedom, the life condition of freedom. That's what I need. I need to have total freedom. As each group seeks its separate roots and origin, vaccinated and unvaccinated, there we go, seeking our separate, willing to take part in medical experiences and not willing to donate their body to crazy scientists. I don't wish to be divided by political bullshit like that in my Buddhist organization ever again. As each group seeks its separate roots and origins, society fractures along 1,000 fissure lines. When neighbor distance themselves from neighbor, continue your uncompromising quest for your truer roots. In the deepest regions of your life, seek out the primordial roots of humankind. Then you will without fail discover the stately expanse of Jiyu, or freedom, unfolding in the depths of your life. Here is the home, the dwelling place in which humankind traces its original existence beyond all borders, beyond all differences of gender and race. Here is a world offering true proof of our humanity. If one reaches back to these fundamental roots, all become friends and comrades. To realize this is to, quote, emerge from the earth. That's what the treasure tower is. Emerging from the earth is treasure tower, which is the life state of Jiyu. It's the life of infinite possibility, the life of transforming, no matter how muddy the swamp is, into a beautiful lotus garden. Past, present, and future, the cause and effect of the three existences flow relentlessly as the reality of life. Interlinked, they give rise to all differences and distinctions. Trapped in those differences, human society is racked by unending contention. But the Buddhism of true cause, that's what we call this, the Buddhism of true cause, expounded by the Daishonin, whose teachings we embrace, enables us to break the spell of past karma, past causes and effects, and to awaken to the grand humanity, the life of Jiyu that had lain dormant in our hearts. So in the final teachings of Buddhism is the only time instantly someone heard one sentence or one phrase and they attained Buddhahood, and that was a girl. Her name was the Dragon King's daughter. So that's why they call it the Buddhism of true cause, because all the other Buddhisms prior to the Lotus Sutra, all the other teachings, which in the Lotus Sutra he says those are all preparatory teachings to get you ready for the final teachings, and once the final teachings are taught, they won't be ready. The planet won't be ready for them till the 500 years after he dies, which is the 2,500 years, 2,000 to 2,500 years after he died, which the people in Japan believed was during Nichiren's time. Whether that's really accurate historically, we don't know, because there's so many debates about exactly when the historical Buddha was alive. But it was roughly around now, or it was either the time of World War II or it was the time of Nichiren, depending on whose chronological order you study. So either one, that's when the Soka Gakkai was born, because of World War II, because the first founding presidents were put in jail and then they were released, and there was a constitution enshrined with Article 9, which gives you freedom of religion, freedom to worship what you want to worship, and the government cannot create laws that affect your right to choose your own philosophy and your own religion, which was unprecedented in the history of Japan, which allowed, right before that happened, the seventh disaster that Nichiren talked about, the invasion and occupation in Japan, it didn't really happen during Nichiren's time. It really happened during this time of Soka Gakkai. So we can say that the 500 years lasted, maybe, if you look at the newer studies of the historical Buddha, it's more in line with when the Soka Gakkai was founded. But Nichiren was definitely fulfilling Bodhisattva of the earth. That is, we consider him the Buddha of time without beginning, because that's what's I forgot the name of it now, but anyway, he's also in the treasure tower. That's why Nichiren put down underneath the Nam-myoho Renge-kyo Nichiren, and he put anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But I need to read more. I'm not getting any calls. I'm gonna just go to work. Oh shit. In a little while, I'm gonna freaking just go skating instead, because it looks like we finally had a sunny day, because everyone ordered groceries over the 2 rainy days, and I made a lot of money, so I don't really need to work today. But I thought I did one pretty good delivery today, and it was an easy one. And I went worked out because my deliveries ended by where I like to work out. So I'm here at the closest one, just in case. I don't like to drive during the rush hour traffic, so I like to stop and wait till the rush hour traffic's over. Get a call after that. Okay. My mentor, President Toda, taught us that when one embraces the mystic law, all intervening causes and effects ebb and retreat, and there emerges the common mortal of beginningless time. In the translation in the 90s, I think he said time without beginning at that part. But most of this is the translation that we had. I like time without beginning better than beginningless time. The common mortal of time without beginning is, I think, the original translation, but now it says the common mortal of beginningless time, which is the same thing. In Japanese, it's kuon ganjo. Okay. This, another name for Bodhisattva of the earth, is the greatness and splendor of the human being writ large. After all false distinctions and adornments have been removed. So all the false distinctions and all the false adornments are all those things you think about yourself, about what's wrong with you, when there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. No matter what your karma you think you have now, you are absolutely perfect and you're on the right path as long as you are moving forward and going after whatever your dreams might be, and you're chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, which is the emergence of the treasure tower. Everything's going to work out perfectly. Just believe you are exactly like you are for a damn good reason, and you have a fucking purpose, and you're going to create that. Even you have to go through a lot of shit to get there. To realize that, just realize it now. Here is the home, the dwelling place to which humankind traces... I think I'm going back. False adornments. Where did I freaking read that one? Okay, I read you right there. Awaken to the life of Jiyu within. When the bright sun of true cause arises, the stars and planets of past causes and effects grow dim, and the supreme world of harmonious unity emerges. The unity of friends and comrades, each manifesting the life condition of Bodhisattva of the earth, offering timeless proof that indeed the assembly on Eagle Peak has not yet dispersed. So every time we chant, we are entering the treasure tower. So that assembly on Eagle Peak, which was the final assembly before the Nirvana Sutra was preached and he predicted his death and he died, the historical Buddha brought all these people together that had followed him and waited for the 5,000 Inchantikas, which are people of incorrigible disbelief, to leave the assembly before he would preach the Lotus Sutra. And it was the only sutra that he ever preached that he decided to address Shariputra and not wait for any questions. All the other sutras, Shariputra or Ananda or Mahakashapa or one of the other disciples, they asked him a question and then he preached a sutra. But in the Lotus Sutra, he waited in meditation and samhita until all the 5,000 people that thought they learned Buddhism from the last 40-something years of teachings didn't know shit, and he waited until they left because he knew they were people of incorrigible disbelief, because they were those kind of people that are intellectuals that are like, I know everything, I don't want to learn from you, I can tell you everything, and that's all I want you to know is what I'm great. But no, the people with seeking minds were waiting, and they waited, and then sure enough, honey, he preached the Lotus Sutra, and right at the beginning of the preaching, boom, first person attains in Buddhahood right there on the spot, not changing her appearance or nothing, just waking up to the fact that she's always been a Buddha, never will not be a Buddha. She's absolutely who she needs to be, perfectly like she is. Okay. What did I laugh off? My mentor, President Toda, taught us that when one embraces the mystic law, I'm fucking reading over the whole things again. Oh yeah, here we are. Ah, my treasured friends, whom I so deeply love and respect. It is critical for you now to directly perceive the web of life that binds all people. Buddhism describes the connective threads of dependent origination. Nothing in this world exists alone. Everything comes into being and continues in response to causes and conditions. Parent and child, husband and wife, friends, races, humanity, and nature. This profound understanding of coexistence, of symbiosis, here is the source of resolution for the most pressing and fundamental issues that confront humankind in the chaotic last years of this century. You thought last century was chaotic. Now this century started off chaotic with a false flag, knocking down 4 buildings with 1 plane, or 2 planes, sorry. Okay, the Buddhist scriptures include the parable of 2 bundles of reeds, amply demonstrating this relation of dependent origination. Only by supporting each other can the two bundles stand straight. If one is removed, the other must fall. Because this exists, so does that. Because that exists, so does this. For several brilliant centuries, Western civilization has encouraged the independence of the individual, but now appears to be facing a turbulent twilight. The waves of egotism eat away at the shores of contemporary society. The tragedy of division wraps the world in a thick fog. Individuals are becoming mere scraps, mere fragments, competing reed bundles of lesser self, threatened with mutual collapse. My friends, please realize that you already possess the solution to this quandary. First, you must break the hard shell of the lesser self. This you must absolutely do. Then direct your lucid gaze toward your friends, fellow members. People can only live fully by helping others to live. When you give life to friends, you truly live. Cultures can only realize their further richness by honoring other traditions, and only by respecting natural life can humanity continue to exist. Now is the time for you to realize that through relations mutually inspiring and harmonious, the greater self is awakened to dynamic action. The bonds of life are restored and healed, and blossoms in delightful multitude, exude their unique fragrance of each person, of each ethnicity, in precise accord with the principle of cherry, plum, pear, and damson. So this is from a parable in one of the sutras, that these four types of fruit, they all have a unique character, but they're all fruit. So we're all fruit cakes, whether we like to admit it or not. I'm a prickly pear, probably. Our goal, that's where I got it from, the Second American Renaissance. So my novel was published by the Second American Renaissance Press, and I knew I got it from one of Daisaku Ikeda's poems, and I couldn't find it last time. I think I was reading to my young American friends thinking it was from there, but no, here it was from Our Goal, the Second American Renaissance. That's why I called my press the Second American Renaissance Press, and I published my 3 volumes from my writings from Soka University of America called the collected writings from Soka University includes the 3 volumes and my senior thesis, and individually they were 3 volumes called the selected writings from Soka University of America by Tim Janakos, Timjanakos. I first published 3 of them in my married name, which is Tim Harada. Holding high the standards of humanity, we advance from diversiveness to union, from conflict to coexistence, from hatred to fraternity. In our struggle, in our fight, there cannot be even a moment's pause or stagnation. My beloved friends, Bodhisattvas of the earth, readying yourself for the new century's dawn with your own effort. Bring about a renaissance here in this magnetic land. The curtain signs of America reborn, Los Angeles rejuvenated, are to be found within your hearts. With this pride and conviction, be victorious in your daily life. Overcome your own weaknesses every day. Never forget that it is only through relentless challenge, one step following another, that you can steadily transform your ideals into reality. Buddhism is reason. Therefore, always maintain self-control. Be the master of your actions. Exercise common sense in society. Keep smiling. Keep a smiling countenance at home. Be courteous to your friends and fellow members, like a warm spring breeze to the suffering. Reason exhaustively with the confused. But when you deal with the arrogant ones, this is where I really fucking will come a fire when I'm dealing with arrogant ones. Be bold and fearless like the Lion King. Look, scene from the Malibu Training Center. I did Soka group at the Malibu Training Center while Daisaku Ikeda was writing his Harvard speech. He was out there with his wife looking over the Pacific Ocean while he was writing it. But he was writing this one too at the Malibu Training Center. It's since been sold. They opened up another center somewhere else, but seen from the Malibu Training Center, the Pacific Ocean's unbounded expanse is bathed in radiant California sun. An ocean of peace across whose surface innumerable waves murmur and dance. Beloved Los Angelinos, all come from somewhere to live in sunshine. Beloved Los Angelinos, I want you each to be like the California sunshine, showering on all people the bright light and warmth of your compassion. Be people who extend hope and courage, who inspire respect and gratitude wherever you go. Buddhism teaches us the means to overcome life's fundamental pain, the suffering of birth, aging, sickness, and death, which none can escape, and which no degree of wealth and fame can relieve in the slightest. We've seen so many rich people succumb to so many sicknesses, both in body and in mind. Everyone, anyone, when returned to their solidarity, human existence is but a karmic-laden reed, trembling before the onslaught of the four sufferings, which are the sufferings of birth, aging, sickness, and death in the Buddhist sutras. Seeking eternity within impermanence, crossing over delusion to nurture confidence, building happiness from anguish. Rush forward from today toward tomorrow in the prodigious battle that is our human revolution. For you are the Buddha's emissaries, upholding the ultimate philosophy of life. Comrades, fellow Bodhisattvas of the earth, born here, gathered together here in Los Angeles that you might fulfill your mission. Raise your voices in song of praise for freedom, democracy, and humanity. Wave the banners of culture and peace. When he says freedom, that means freedom to not take part in a medical experiment, which is why I won't take down the site on YouTube, which is called Soka Gakkai members for bodily autonomy, because I think it's an absolute disgrace that we banned people's freedoms during this pandemic. Los Angeles here is to be found, SUA, a palace of intellect for the Pan-Pacific. It said SULA back on the original because that was when only Los Angeles was open. It wasn't called Soka University America, it was called Soka University Los Angeles, because they had Soka University Japan, Soka University Los Angeles. They were going to have other ones, but they ended up opening up Soka University America in Orange County, where I grew up. And I was a vice regional YMD leader, Young Men's Division leader at the time of Soka University's opening, and an area leader. And our area was the most everything. We had the most people contributing to Design Move, the most people showing up to Student Division, the most people going to FNCC on the Student Division and the Youth Division conferences. Our area was just fucking rock solid, thanks to we created all the people. We had great leaders: Mark Rappaport, Adonis Van Campen, me, Lisa Crummett, so many fucking amazing people. The farting beds. Andy Fireman, Mike Fireman, we call them the farting beds. All the Crummets, Lang Ho, and all the amazing people. Anyway, All Los Angeles here is to be found. God motherfucking dang it. Okay. I better start the car just to make sure the battery don't wear down. There we go. Let's start. Ready to drive. Okay, good. Starting my car. Just not the headlights. I don't need the headlights on. If you start the car, your headlights automatically go on and it goes into parking mode. Okay. Where was I left off? Okay, all Los Angeles here is to be found SGI-USA, a palace of intellect for the Pan-Pacific era of the 21st century. Here is located the World Culture Center, dynamo of American Kozurufu, and here rises the splendid form of the future site of SGI headquarters, which will become the mainstay of the grand endeavor of worldwide Kozurufu. We've been waiting for that to happen. I think it's going to happen soon, hopefully. SGI, all of the world's headquarters. They have the SGI-USA headquarters, but they don't have the world's headquarters. Truly a new wind will blow from the west. Los Angeles, that's why it makes me think that they're putting this in the Living Buddhism now, because they're ready to finally open up. Now that all the things are opening up again, they're finally going to open up maybe the World Center here. Okay. Truly a new wind will blow from the west. Los Angeles, the stage on which you act with such freedom and vigor, is the launching site for World Kozurufu. The cornerstone that links east and west. Walt Whitman, giant of the American Renaissance, penned these words, quote, "Come, I will make the continent indissoluble. I will make the most splendid race the sun ever shone upon. I will make divine magnetic lands with the love of comrades, with the lifelong love of comrades." He was a socialist, that's why he said comrades. Okay. So am I. A democratic socialism. Okay. Los Angeles, the sun rises beyond the Rockies, spreading the light over the wide Pacific. Now, in its luminous beams, let friend and friend pull together in perfect unity, rowing into the seas, embarking on a new leg of our journey of Kozurufu. Grip the rudder, hold firm to your course, the stars and stripes, the tricolored flag of the SGI, ripple as a hope-filled breeze fills its sails. The lapping waves beat out their message of congratulation upon our ship's bow. Our destination, America's distant future, the light and color of a century of life, the brilliant glory of human harmony. I thought it went on longer than this. Maybe that's the end. Commemorating the second SGI-USA General Meeting, January 27th, 1993. Daisaku Ikeda. I was there, Ming. I was at that friggin' meeting as a district YMD leader. Okay. All these people giving their experiences about being there and all that. I should write one in. Okay, I think I'm ready to go skating at Skate World. I don't know if I'll go to the dance party someone invited me to. Maybe I will. We'll see how I feel. I gotta get maybe another offer later, because there's no offers right now. Alright, peace out, kids.